Hello and good morning or afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is Matthew DeGeeter, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Strategic Enterprises at ASID headquarters. It's my pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar, Making the Most of Your Design Finder, Making the Most of Your Design Finder by ASID Practitioner Benefit. All right, so thanks for joining us today. We're kicking off this webinar series to help you make the most of Design Finder by ASID. It's a revolutionary platform developed to streamline the search for qualified interior designers and interior design suppliers. So in the next short 30 minutes, we're going to cover the following. We're going to explore Design Finder and what is included in a level 2 basic listing for interior designers and firms. Learn how to claim your listing and make it public. We're going to hear from an ASID member, and we're going to answer your questions. So as attendees, your audio is muted and the attendee chat is disabled. However, please use the Q&A button in your toolbar to submit questions at any time, and we will respond to those at the end of this session, and we'll get to those and as many of those as we can. So additionally, this webinar is being recorded, and we will be posting that to the ASID YouTube channel, and I'm sure we can get that in Design Connection by ASID as well. So I will be your moderator for today's webinar, and I'm going to be joined by John McClain, Associate ASID. So John is CEO of John McClain Design, as well as Design Success Academy. He is a multi-faceted leader in the interior design industry, proudly serving in his field as an interior designer, product designer, author, speaker, business coach, and podcast host. And also want to shout out that John is a member of the ASID Business Management Committee, one of our ASID national committees. So we'll hear from John in just a few minutes. But first, I would like to share some of the features of Design Finder by ASID for you, our ASID practitioner members and firm partners. So first, Design Finder is a commerce platform that educates and connects ASID practitioners, industry partners, firms, and members to those looking for success in any interior design project. Let's look at some of the platform features. So ASID practitioners and partner members receive a complimentary level 2 basic annual subscription. ASID partner members and partners are also distinguished in search listings with the ASID practitioner or member badge. And additional member discounts are available on level 3 enhanced and level 4 premium subscription plans, and guests can purchase listings for the full price. Also, you may want to reach out to your ASID chapter, your local chapter, because you can get a 10% discount on listing upgrades. Contact them to receive that discount code. Also, please note that all paid subscriptions are for 12 months. Additionally, if you ever have any questions about Design Finder, please reach out to us via email at designfinder@asid.org. So let's first review how to activate your Design Finder member benefit. So to do this, you need to, one, log in. So go to www.asid.org, and in the top menu, hit login from the homepage. Now here, you're going to get prompted to input your email and password and then click login. And then once you've completed that, you're going to see on your homepage, a little home icon. Go ahead and click that. Now you're going to be actually at your ASID member homepage itself, and you'll see this option to edit your profile. So on the right hand of your screen, go ahead and click that as well. And now you can update your profile information for ASID. This is really important because the more we know about you as our member or our customer, the better we're able to serve you. So you can input information about your job roles, your titles, contact information, you name it. But for this purpose, you'll want to scroll down this page from your membership management system profile and the account. Make sure you're on personal info, as you see here, that's highlighted in blue. We've got a little red square around that for you too. But as you go halfway down that page, you'll see this option called Show in Directory. Now you want the box checked. It's really important here. If you don't have the box checked, you are not opted in, and Show in Directory links directly to Design Finder for us. And so if you have this checked, that means you're going to be in the directory. Now you need one more step to complete this process. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page and now click Save. That's the really important piece here. Hit Save. Now, while you're in your profile, you may want to update some other information. If you go to the left-hand navigation, you'll see contact info. You can also hit your email address, add your primary, your work, your personal, also your addresses themselves, phone numbers, you name it. Make sure that you add as much info as you can because that will help us serve you better. Now let's move over to Design Finder. So here it is, designfinder.asid.org. So that's again, designfinder.asid.org. And let's go ahead and log in here. So again, top right, onto the top menu, you'll see login. You'll get some similar prompts, but slightly different for Design Finder because this is single sign-on for your ASID account. Here, it's only asking for your email address. And when you do that, it's actually going to prompt you and send you a code to that email address. And from that code, you'll go ahead and put that in and log in, and you'll be actually logged into Design Finder that's pulling some information from the ASID database for on your behalf. So once you log in, you'll be taken back to the Design Finder homepage. So from here, go to the top menu again and click Design Your Listing. Let's see a little bit about what subscription plan options are available. You'll hit that pricing page. You'll see from mine, you get my little headshot. And so you get the image of myself. Here I've clicked Design Your Listing, and you'll see pricing page 2. So over here, you'll see annual subscription plans. And because this has options for both product and resource suppliers, as well as interior designers and firms, you'll want to make sure that you have clicked interior designers and firms in order to see the 4 options and subscription options available here. You can go ahead and scroll down and see them all side by side. Just a reminder here, as an ASID member, as long as you're logged in, you receive the level 2 designer, the basic subscription that's valued at $299 a year, included in your ASID membership. So great value. You can also keep scrolling down further on the page and see a featured comparison. So this will actually give you a side-by-side of all the different features available per subscription plan itself. But when you're ready to actually start filling out your profile and your listing, you'll go ahead and click Select, and you'll see that you get a pop-up. In this pop-up, it'll actually ask you what kind of listing you want to create, ask you the listing name. So for this, the name of your company, and then also your web address, because that's actually going to be syncing as well, and I'm able to pull some information for you. So within this, it'll actually give you a prompt potentially if you've had a previous if you have some information pre-populated on the site, that is possible. If it does, you'll be able to claim your listing and go on from there. But let's also look over, as I mentioned, that we're calling out ASID qualified designers and members. And so before we bring in John and have him walk us through his profile, and I get to ask him a few questions about that to share some tips and tricks to make your profile stand out. You'll note that you can actually search specifically for ASID qualified practitioner. So that's our ASID professional, allied, and associate practitioner members. And then from there as well, let's say I had put in John McClain in particular, and he is an ASID associate practitioner. And so he has the ASID practitioner badge on his profile immediately. So if somebody is searching to hire an interior designer, they could actually search either by name for John if they've heard of him before. They can search for him by areas of practice, by specialty, keyword, location, you name it. So a lot of different ways in order to do this and get to know and get to find the designer that you may be needing or that your future client may be needing and being able to get connected to you. So pause there, but also as a reminder, please use the Q&A for us. We'll be able to answer those questions. And also remember, we will have a recording of this available so you can follow along again and input all that information. But now what I would like to do is welcome John McClain. There he is. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey, Matt, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for being here today and sharing some good information for our members. So, John, you're a business coach, you're a designer, you've done it all. You're also a business expert on our business management committee. So if you don't mind, could you show us your listing and some of the things that you've included, and we'll walk through that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is I love this. I love what you guys are doing for us. So thanks for having us, allowing us to do this and allowing me to show. So I'm going to share my screen And this is sort of the public view, I guess you would say, of it. And I just want to kind of notate some things that I did that maybe some other people want to pick up on. And, you know, just no need to reinvent the wheel if I've already learned something that you guys don't have to do yourself. So let me just kind of point out. So I have this header here, first of all. And the header sizes are always a weird thing, I think, on every platform, whether it be Facebook cover page or whatever. So this one has its specific pixels. I think it's 1200 by 200. So 1200 wide, which is pretty wide, by 200 height. So I played around with that and put an image in there of just a project, and it didn't capture what I wanted it to. So I simply went into Canva, entered the dimensions on an original design, and created this. And I did this honestly, it took like 5 minutes to do this. So you can pull in your favorite projects, you can pull in your logo, of course, anything that you feel I think is representative of, your brand and your company would be perfect here. So I wanted to put in some things about my coffee table book and my podcast, and then of course my design projects, just to sort of give a well-rounded view. So this header I think is very important. So don't overlook that. And if you don't have Canva, it's free. You can go right into Canva and create your own very fast and very easily. So just follow this format and maybe kind of see what you can come up with for yourself. But I do want to just remind you that's important to do that. Your logo, of course, needs to be on there. That's really important. And then as you go down, I think it basically just shows, the parts of your company, right? The things, your categories that you're in, who is the main contact, when you were founded, your headquarters, if you wanted to list that on there. And then I like this activity section too, because it's going to show basically all of the activity that's occurred within, this certain time frame. So you can see 2 hours ago, I added a press release about my book, and you can put a little excerpt in there, an image, and so forth. And then down below that, I just added a quick little grab and go guide, 5 tips to decorate like a design pro. I have this on my website as well, but I thought that would be something fun for people to see if they came to the page, to know that there's other things to offer. So I like that it's well rounded, and I like that you can just add another post right here as well. So all this front page is great. So let me try to go into this little gear icon here. And Matt, you were mentioning about how to access this. I just want to make a suggestion that I just decided to bookmark my actual login to Design Finder, and it made it much quicker for me just to go to that. So if anyone wants to take that little tip and do it, that's great as well.
Smart
Um,
move.
yeah, and looks like I have not put my website on here, so I will do that later, which is so strange that I have not done that. So it's your header, you can cover, or your cover image, you can edit your logo, of course, your website, and then all your social media. Don't forget this part. I think that's super important for people just to be able to click that and find you on all the different platforms. And then your overview. This is something that I honestly just pulled from my website, and you all probably have these already listed somewhere at some point in your business, that basically talks about your firm and what you do, or yourself, and basically your design aesthetic and what you can provide to your customer. And I went ahead and I have a Calendly link. So I put in a Calendly link in here, or Acuity if you have that, and you can put that right into this, and people can book time with you if you want as well. And then of course your email. If you don't want your personal email on there, you can just put your company email, of course, which is probably a better thing to do for some people. Um, Categories, I think this is also important because it's going to preload some based upon your, it has like a way, I believe, Matt, to pull from your website and put something in there for you right away. Is that correct?
It does, but
Yeah.
then you're able to edit those. And so if that's not what you want to be searched according to, definitely go into these categories and update them yourself.
Yeah, because it thought I was just a staging company when it pulled mine in there. So just I want to remind you, go into your categories, choose the categories that you feel are representative of your company, and make sure that those are accurate. Now, on down to featured content. This is what I was showing you guys earlier of how you can upload things and kind of basically, toot your own horn. If you had something in a press release, put that in there. If you had a piece in AD, put that in there. We all want a piece in AD, right? So let's tell the world about it. So this is the place to put all those fun little things that can just keep it fresh. And much like your website, I'm a big proponent of keeping things up to date and fresh, and to keep people coming back. So I think this is a great place to put the newest and latest and best thing that you're doing within your company. So don't overlook this feature content. I think it's a really great feature inside of that. Now, moving down to projects, this was basically where you upload your projects. And so we have 5 that we can upload. I have 5 in here as well. Luckily for us, we already had like a little paragraph on our website talking about that project, and I know probably a lot of you do as well. So that is where we took that information from as far as that little snippet of information. But I just wanted to go into the edit here and show you kind of what that looks like because it's pretty simple to do. But I have learned a few tips along the way about what to do with that and how to make that a little bit quicker. So if you have your images of your projects from your professional photographer, chances are they've sent you really high res images. And I know, luckily, the software, the information inside of it is put in, but then it is able to downgrade that for you, which is great. But my tip is don't try to put in all 30 or 20 or whatever photographs in there because it's going to get a little bogged down, much like any piece of technology. So I found my happy number was around 7 or 8 high quality, high res photographs, and then it would downgrade those to the size that it needed for the website. So that's my little 2 cents on that. If you don't want to waste your time and have to go back and re-upload things, start around 7 or 8 if you have those that are high res, and then you can kind of tweak it from there if you have some that are lower resolution. So
Really,
this is the very simple. You put in the project name here, whatever you want to call that project. I like to call them something that is representative of the style and also of my aesthetic. So that is how I approach that. And then here is just the paragraph of what you want to say about that introduction to that project. Now, another tip I want you to think about is don't forget your photographer when you're doing this. It's very important to make them happy. They do not want to be left out. We all know we've gotten in trouble with our photographers before when we've not talked about them. So I just put a little line here that put my photographer's name in there and captured that. And then also you can play around with this part too, and then you can edit different things as far as font and sizes and so forth. So if you wanted that smaller, you could go to paragraph, for instance, and it would make it a little bit smaller. So you can play around with this and basically make that exactly what you need it to be. And you can always go back and edit it. So don't freak out if you do something incorrect. So this is basically where you would upload the photos of the project. You just go to choose files, and then you choose whatever folder you have that in. Very simple. And then it will slowly start to upload those into this gallery of images for you very easily if you keep it around that 7 or 8, I find. So upload the photos, and then once they're uploaded, it will give you a progress bar at the top of the screen to show you where you are in the process. But then I want you to then go back and choose the one that's your cover image. So whatever you feel is best representative of that project and your style and what you're trying to get people's attention with, make that your book cover for that project and click that little icon here with the little check mark. Again, you can always change that later. And then here is the part that I'm working on currently, because it does take a hot minute to do this part. You can go in and put in captions for the photos. And I think that's a really fun thing to do. So you just click the little pencil button and you can talk about the photo that you're showing to that person. And then you just click add, and it will add that caption on there because it's fun to go in and hear the behind the scenes. So if you had, a particularly hard time designing the space, talk about that and talk about what obstacles you overcame to give it to that point that you're showing your audience there. So this is basically all of that. And again, I've gone through and put these in there of whatever that image is. You can talk about it, and then you just click next. Now here is the part I don't want anyone to overlook as well. I think this is key, is to go into the category selection and choose the categories of that particular project. So whatever you did in that project, choose the category for that project so that it relates to that project, and then it shows up in searches, and then you can better categorize where you are. So if you did a dining room, a family room, an entryway, a kitchen, if it was floor planning, if you had your hand in the permitting part of it, whatever you did on that project, go ahead and take the time to go through there and don't skip this part. It's going to be very important to show up in your search results when you do that. And then you just click update. And then when you do the update, it will automatically add that to your project list. So I have 5 in here. And if you want to have one that's at the top of the list, you just click these little things to the little dots to the side, and you can move another one up and make that the first one to show on your list. Your location, that's pretty self-explanatory. You can add your employees in there. Now, featured video, if you have a video of yourself talking about your company, I know videos, we all know they're very popular these days on all social media platforms, and this is another great way to use that. uh, Put the video here. Talk about your company. Mine is basically talking about a project that we did, but it's also it's a project that's pretty representative of our overall style. So that's why I felt this would work well. But if you have a video of yourself talking about your business and how you like to operate and what some of your processes are and how you value the customer, this is another great place to embed that as well. You can either embed it directly, or you can pull it from a YouTube and embed that in there too if you want to. So whatever method you want to use. And I think I personally feel like you should put a video in there regardless, even if it's not professionally done. Turn your camera horizontal on your phone and set it up and get good lighting. Have your little script ready and put a video in there to talk about your company, because that's going to personalize it. They're going to get a little bit of your personality, and they're just going to learn more about you. And I think that has been a clincher for me, honestly, when people want to know more about my company and how I operate and what services I offer for not only consumers, but for designers as well, and my coaching. It's all those things. The video really comes in to help that. So don't overlook the video part of that. And then that's pretty much all of the parts to upload inside of it. And then you can close that out and see how everything that you have in there looks. And if you go out of edit mode, it will just basically take you back to this screen where it's showing you what you did. So you can see all the fruits of your labor in there. And the other thing is too, people can like this as well, and you can like other people, and they can follow you, and you can make recommendations. So it's very interactive, and I think that's another cool feature that will get people to keep coming back, which is why I said earlier, keep it fresh, keep it interesting, keep something in the activities, keep something, put a new post in every so often. Just put it on your calendar every week to go inside Design Finder and add a quick little update about your business, and it will keep people interested in seeing what you have. But that's pretty much all I have for the updates here as far as how to kind of operate behind the scenes. But kudos to ASID for offering this to us. It's really fantastic.
And well, thank you for that, John. And kudos to you for having like the ideal level 2 like profile filled out. We've actually got a few questions coming in right now. And so this is perfect because one thing you called out was like within the activity and your featured content. And so just everyone for the audience, so you know, anything you're seeing on John's listing right now is included in your level 2 subscription already. So you do get the video. You're able to upload that. You're able to get the 5 projects. And then he called out the featured content. And he already has people liking those posts that he just did today. Those are actually, they will get populated on the home page of Design Finder itself. And so that also people can get that updated, that information. We're also working on digest and as well. And so people will start getting updates about what you've been including from like featured new projects, featured posts, things of that nature. And so then it just keeps it engaging. And John, you have a really good tip you just also gave us, which was, go in weekly. So like treat this like you do with other social media, like put it on your schedule to make sure that you keep the information fresh. Don't forget about it, because you don't want your potential clients to not find you as a result of that too.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Keep everything interesting for people. And as I said, I tried to do that on my own website as well, to kind of change the cover on the front page just to give something fresh that's happening. And so just make it part of your routine and do it very easily.
Routine, even better. Yeah. Schedule that time. Like make sure
Yeah.
you actually schedule that time. I'm going to actually pivot us for a little bit, John, to answer some of these questions that we've got from the audience. Your demo in particular got our audience activated. So one of them is Project Info SEO searchable search engine? Yes, it will be. It does do that. It takes a little bit of time because it does have to connect all the systems, if you will, for Google in like the big terms of that situation. But yes, and actually the more information you're adding and keeping it up to date, it actually empowers and brings this site up higher in those results too, in order for people to find you, those potential clients. So we definitely love that. So get activated on that in particular. So what does ASID do for advertising and outreach? We've actually been doing a lot of partnerships. And so you'll see that there's been ads, and a lot of that is in some media partners too, in order to get this information out to the public. We're also developing additional advertising that's going to be launching in 2025, so that we can get this really further and in front of those key clients for you in order to start building that attention and getting those eyes. You'll also be able to, and we'll review this in some later webinars for you, but if you're really into your tech and really want to be able to find how your page is performing, you actually have a dashboard, and we'll be able to go through that in a future webinar as well. And we'll be able to get into tips and tricks of that and how to interpret that and utilize that information. Let's see. Same question, similar question. Ooh, we've gotten popular with questions now, John. We got exposure. This is only for designers, or, ooh, good question from Teresa. We actually have the second side of this, and mark your calendar, January 16th, because this design finder is also for ASID industry partners, so for manufacturers and resource providers. There actually is a second side of the site. You'll be able to see that you are able to toggle through. So not only are you able to be found by clients, but John, if you wanted to search for a resource or a product for your next project, you're able to do that on this exact same site. You just toggle to the other side. And so it keeps you activated, and you can like, follow, subscribe, and contact all of those resource suppliers that you may need too. So
That's great. So the takeaway for me there is like, this isn't a one and done thing. This is a come back, revisit it, check into it, check in what people are adding. Other people are going to be adding themselves now, I know, more than ever. So check in with your fellow designers and your tradespeople, all those fun things. So that's great.
yes, and there's also things such as like perks and like the trade discounts. And so we're going to be getting into that information for our industry partners too. So all that information that designers love to have access to, those discounts and those special programs, you'll be able to actually access that when you're logged in. So it's not publicly accessible. You're able to access that as a designer on the site itself. We're really
We'll
happy.
always take a discount. We'll always take it.
We always love to have that show the love in that situation, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got some other questions. Most of it is about promotions. So that is the popular question. And so that is through the advertising that ASID is doing, and more will be done in 2025. We just launched this site over the summer. So the big piece here is get your information on the site, because that will actually help us push the site further. Because once clients start getting here, they're going to start searching, looking, finding. They'll either find you by searching through options, including like by location, by project type, so those categories that you were calling out, John, but also they're able to search for projects and get some inspiration. But the best thing is, so all those projects, John, that you just listed, they're able to then find you. It actually connects you right back, and then they're able to contact you, and hopefully that generates a lead and a potential client for you to keep going and build your business as a result of that too. Awesome. So John, we're about at time. 30 minutes definitely flew by for this in particular. Any final thoughts that you'd love to share with our audience about any other tip or trick for leveraging a platform like this to build your business?
I think just building upon what I said, don't set it and forget it. Go back and revisit it, keep it fresh. And also, if a category maybe is not working as well for you, maybe think about switching up the category as far as your designer category on your page, and see how that goes. So just like this is new, use it as a test for yourself as well, and see what gets the most feedback, see what gets you the most inquiries, see what people are liking and following and all the things, and adjust that as you need to. And another little tip is, if you are doing content on a blog or on your social media or somewhere else, you can easily repurpose that right here in the post area of this, and just take that blog and put an excerpt in there, throw it in the chat GPT and say, take this from 500 words down to 100 words or whatever, and then throw that in here as a post, and you're not having to reinvent the wheel every time. So don't make this a chore is my biggest tip. Make it sort of just an easy little add-on of already what you're doing, and then it's not going to feel overwhelming for all of us who are solopreneurs out there, because it can get overwhelming if we think about just adding one more thing to our list.
That is an awesome piece of advice: leverage your resources that you have, and there's a lot available. Don't be afraid of your resources in particular here. Thank you for that, John, so much. I'm going to share my screen one last time as a reminder to everybody and give us some closing thoughts. So this concludes our webinar. So making the most of your Design Finder by ASID Practitioner benefit. So thank you for joining us today, and a huge thank you to you, John McClain, for sharing your firm's listing, giving us all this insight. We hope you took a lot of notes, but in case you couldn't keep up with all the tips and tricks and also the processes that we shared, the recording will be available on ASID's YouTube channel. So be sure to look out for that. And we'll make sure that we send out a follow-up as well to all of you as attendees so you can follow step by step. We'll also make sure to put a recording of this on Design Connection by ASID, our online community platform, and we would really appreciate your feedback. So please fill out the survey at the conclusion of this webinar. It helps us improve the program, and it'll actually help us create more trainings and informational videos such as these to help you make the most of Design Finder as well. So a couple of things coming up. So Tuesday, December 10th at 2 p.m. Eastern, join us for our next Member Benefit Spotlight webinar, where we will be featuring the new ASID Talent Recruitment Program with Interior Talent. We will also be continuing this Design Finder series after the new year. So on Thursday, January 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern, we will present Leveraging Your Design Finder by ASID Industry Partner Benefit, so specifically for manufacturers and resource suppliers. And also, just as a reminder, please be sure to check out all the programs available through ASID and our Design by ASID platforms, including Design Business, Design Careers, Design Connection, Design Learning, and Design Research. And with that, I want to say thank you and have a great day.